we hit 12 noon, it's time to really take that same topic and go to optimum, go to zenith, really coach you on why something is hindering that ability, what is stopping you from being motivated in that way, and what's keeping you from moving at acceleration in the new year. And so as we were on this morning, thank you guys for coming on that are new with us. You'll need to hear, though, our 7 a.m. scope to really catch up with us, because we're moving fast. And for those of you who were with us, you will know that what we're doing now is looking at resilience, or the R factor, and what often keeps us from doing that piece, why it should rock and not be just so resident and dormant within us. What is this resilience, and what is hindering it from really coming out? Because see, this is nothing you develop over time and nothing you just kind of, oh Lord, I wish I had it. It's all in there. It's part of the master plan of God. It's part of what he has given you. So you and I need to understand that. Say, I am resilient. I am, no matter what no one say, no matter how much I have pulled back sometime, second guessed myself, stood in the corner at the party, walked into the networking meeting and thought, well, nobody knows me. What I understand is that there is resilience inside of me. Now somebody help me get it out. And that's what Yolanda Powell is here to do today. I am help you to, first of all, understand what hinders it. Why is it not flowing? What is it that keeps you on the sideline? Why do you feel like you need to have a drawback? Why is it that you need to have a takedown? Why do you even shut down when it's time to deal, when it's time to move, when it's time to make that closing argument? What is it, and why is it that resilience stays untapped? Why is it that when God gave you all of that you are not really moving at optimum? That you're not really moving at zenith. So what we're going to talk to you today about is this whole word again. I'm reinforcing 12 noon from 7 a.m. because what I've learned as a trainer and an equiper in the kingdom is that things can go real quickly past our head. I mean, someone will say something, we'll go, ooh, that's good. Or, ooh, I like that. And then hours later, we'll be like, now what'd they say? Now, wait a minute. And so what I want you to do is I want you to be reinforced. So this is our reinforcement hour. This is our reinforcement time. And 12 noon hits, it's time to reinforce. It's time to coach you. It's time to push you. It's time to give you the playbook. It's time for you to open up the vistas of your understanding, because the Bible says, with all thy getting, get an understanding. And so we cannot be moving and scaling mountains and making money and getting 6 figures and, working ministry around the world and impacting cities and regions and nations if we are still kind of unsure about our own resilience factor, that R factor that God has given us. So this is that time. Let's start, though, with an understanding of what resilience is by clarity, by definition. What are you saying, Dr. Yolanda, when you say the R factor? What I'm talking about is this internal fortitude, this internal makeup that's in every one of us. There are 7.5 billion people on the planet. And each one of us, by the design of the master creator, gave us the fortitude of resilience. Each of us has the capacity and the ability to scale and to push and to rise and to be buoyant when those elements of life just attack us, when things don't go right. So now, if that's resonating with you, you need to tap those hearts, because what I just gave you was a gold mine. It means that there is stuff inside of me called the R factor, or resilience, that I have already access to. It's already in there. Say that. It's all in me. What has to happen is it has to be first understood, and then it has to be mined. It has to be drilled. It's like gold, baby. It's like valuable resources in the heart of the earth. And God didn't just put diamonds and pearls and oil and all of these valuable resources in the earth and left you without stuff. No, 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 no. Let's not get his character mixed up. When God designed the natural realm, he put in all of the gold, all of the ore, all of the onyx, all of the diamonds are in the natural resources of the earth basin. But hear me, beloved, the same is in you and me. I love that God did not leave us without enormous, extravagant resources, that all we have to do is understand what's in our basin, what is in our belly, what is down inside of us that God put there, and that we have now the responsibility to mine it. We have the responsibility to drill deep for the oil. We have the responsibility to go down in there and see, now what is all of this that I'm packing? What is this enormous supply that I have been given even in utero? Even before you did good or evil, before you were saved or left unsaved, before you had a business or no business, before you were married or unmarried, it does not matter your status. It does not matter your experiences. It does not matter your background or even what's been said to you, what happened in your family system. Many of us think I was born poor. You don't know my story. You better pull back from me, because I will go in with you about that. I do not care about your background and your past for any kind of element for your future. Yes, we will learn of it. Yes, we will understand it. Yes, we will get it straight in our head, but it will not hinder you. It will not stop you. It will not cause you to be always in this stuck place. All right. So say, all right, I will not be stuck. I will not be stuck. All right. So this place of moving, yes, I love that. Use it to leverage, use it to catapult, use it to propel. All of those elements are for use. So let's look at this word together. The power, this resilience, this resident rock of life, this resident resource of energy that's on the inside of us is the power or ability, you might want to write this down, the power or ability to return to the original form or position after being bent, compressed, or stretched. Wow. What do you mean? The ability to come back, to return to its original form after being stretched, bent, or compressed. Another word for that might be elasticity. I'm elastic. You can stretch me. You can pull me. You can twirl me. You can whirl me, but I will return to my original form. I will come back to my original design. That's critical, ladies and gentlemen, for marketplace ministers, for kingdom leaders, for global influencers. We have got to be clear. If we're keeping gates, if we're changing the trajectory of people's lives, if we're in people's face with customers or clients or congregants, we need to know how to be elastic. We need to know when them folks stretch my nerves, when they pull me to the furthest that they can pull me, when they have stretched me out, I will not be out of shape. I will return, come on, to my original form, and I will move and come back to my original design. Come on, somebody say hallelujah, because I felt a preachment on that, and I'm not preaching now, I'm really coaching. So that was good though, that no matter what befalls me, no matter what comes against me, no matter what compresses me, when you lift your hand up, I'll be back where I started. I'll be back and even better. I'll be back and even wiser. I'll be back and even stronger, because part of what God put into the human spirit and into the design of the R factor is that he really gave a command. He said, now stretch them, compress them, stress them, move them, twirl them, lift them. See, whatever you do to them inside of my kids, inside of my children, inside of all who bear my makeup, my mastery, is the R factor. It means that no matter what the enemy or what life brings against you, you're going to rise again. Say, I'm rising. You know, Maya Angelou said what? She said, I'll rise. There is a phenomenalness inside of us, both male and female, that will rise up, that we just still I rise. Come on, do what you want to. Still I rise. Is there a still I rise on here? Come on, tap, tap, tap those hearts and say, still I rise. That's right. Stretch them. That's right. Stretch me, but I'll rise. Push me and I'll rise. Try to compress me and I'll rise. Now, this ability this to return is critical, but it's also an ability to recover. We talked about that this morning, so I'm not going to repeat all of that. But there is the ability to two things, to recover and to return. When you have resilience, you will return to your original form and you will recover all. You will be in pursuit of all. You will not miss all. So resilience is the ability to return and to recover. So you've got to know that, to return and to recover. And you need to utter that in the atmosphere that you're in. I will return to my original form after being stretched, because I'm elastic, because I have buoyancy. I have the ability to come back. All right. So here's the problem, though. This is what I really need us to understand. There are issues or problems when we don't. And we need to know why. Let me look at my time. Gosh, I want to just touch you all so much and move you, but I believe I got about 3 minutes. There is an issue. There is a problem with why we do not or move in resilience. I'm getting excited. Y'all know when I get excited, this thing go to moving. There is a problem. Here is the problem. When there are hindrances and challenges to resilience in our life, it is for major reasons. Here's the number one reason. Number one, we are not clear about our identity and our purpose. So the main thing, if you're going to walk in the R factor, if you're going to be clear about your resilience that's inside of you by master design, you've got to connect what's in you with your purpose and your identity. You cannot be all over the place. You cannot be in a fog. You cannot remain in the gray. That's where the stuck place happens. So number one, I must be clear about my identity and purpose. Number two, I must have a plan for the future and a vision for what's coming. If I don't, resilience will not be buoyant. Resilience will not rise. Why? Because there's too many problems around me. There's too many issues in the atmosphere. There's too many issues in the environment. So it's critical. It's critical. Those of you who are master building, those of you who are market building, those of you who are family building, those of you who are personally building, it's critical that you know your identity and purpose and that you have a plan and a vision for the future. You cannot live today without seeing the future, without knowing that God is going to come through, without knowing that it will get better, without knowing that all I have to do is get up off this floor. All I've got to do is wipe these tears. All I've got to do is straighten this tie, put my jacket back on, calm myself, because I know that resilience is with me and that I will prevail. Now, the last thing, hindrances and challenges, because we're coaching now. We're not just motivating you. I've got to coach you. I've got to let you know why you might be hitting a wall, why you might be taking a fall, why you might not be buoyant and bouncing the way you ought to. So no identity, no plan will definitely do it. The last thing is that you have no internal support systems working simultaneously. You have to have those systems working simultaneously. What are those systems, Dr. Yolanda? They are reading. I'm going to give them to you in ing words. They are reading, feeding, and meditating. Can you say that? Reading, feeding, and meditating. Where y'all at? Y'all ain't tapping. Y'all just listening. I can see your mind going. You're like, wait a minute. You have to be reading, feeding, and meditating to have an internal system that supports the R factor. Reading. What are you reading? Feeding. What are you listening to? Come on. Reading and feeding is critical, and meditating. Once you read and feed, what's going on after everything's shut off? What's going on when you lay on your pillow? Oh my God, time is running. Last thing here is you also have to have an external support system. So an internal support system, reading, feeding, and meditating, but you also must have an external support system where you're mentoring, fellowshipping, and masterminding. Let me say those again. Mentoring, fellowshipping, and masterminding. minding. You've got to be in community with people of like mind. You've got to be connected to those who are doing it. You've got to do this. This is the R factor. It's already in there, but it needs support. It needs support systems on the inside. It needs support systems on the outside. You've got to be feeding, reading, and meditating, but you also have to be mentoring or being mentored, fellowshipping, and having that relationship. And you've got to be masterminding with some people, talking the talk, walking the walk, getting it done. All right. Well, that's our Lunchoscope. I am